humility and appreciation, and with a great sense that they belong to my ancestors, especially the women in my family. Thank you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Just went back to school, and I'm so glad to be in the house. Danny, how you living?
I'm living great, man. Happy New Year, my brother.
Oh, we're 24 days in. I know I done said Happy New Year by now. Happy New Year, Danny.
Not personally, though.
No?
I don't think so.
I think so. Man, I did so many shows I can't remember. Danny.
How you doing, sir?
Roughly 60 years after the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, your president said all of that can go straight on out the window.
Straight to hell, right?
Yeah, he said, damn all that.
Don't mean a thing. I'm in charge.
He said to hell with all of that.
You know,
how do you think the African Americans who voted for Trump feel about that? We don't need it anymore?
We absolutely need it, but they get exactly what they voted for. A man.
A level playing field?
No, it's no level playing field. Diversity, equity, inclusion. It's all about looking after the white man. And
can we say that on here?
Well, I mean, I said it, I am just speaking truth. That's what it was about,
My God, Danny.
Well, they feel as though that we are taking an opportunity that we shouldn't have.
Why?
Well, they think that it's an even playing field. They don't see the injustice that was done.
Oh, they see it.
Of course they do.
Oh, they see it.
It's a sad day. We knew it was coming. 90 million people did not vote, Donnie. 90 million folks didn't vote.
No vote is a vote.
There it is. And we kicking
but
ourselves.
Let's be honest, Danny. The Democrats came out raggedy.
Absolutely. They did.
It's like the Ravens. If you plan on beating the Kansas City Chiefs, you can't drop the ball, you can't throw interceptions, you can't fumble. Why? Because they're going to make you pay. And in this case, it was the Bills.
That's correct. We know
when you're fighting the Republicans, if you go out there like a wet noodle, you're going to get pimp slapped. So they throw Kamala out there. They throw out there. She wasn't elected. She was selected. One could argue you took an unproven weapon in the war. One could argue that Joe Biden didn't do a hell of a lot of campaigning for. One could argue that.
You know, 107 days, and they were looking for a miracle, and that doesn't happen.
We got a comedian in the house down in Tampa, Florida. He said, I look like I'm about to break in somebody's house.
Yeah, you know, you look like one of those commercial folks for some kind of a home security system. But
Tiger, the link he can't get in. Come on, Tiger.
Yeah, man. You know, how about all these executive orders that Trump was signing, been signing all week long? The insurrection folks, all of them were given, you know, pardons, and I mean, it's just horrible. I mean, the Fraternal Order of Police, all these folks, law agencies that supported Donald Trump. I mean, I wonder how they feeling now. How are they feeling?
Yeah, law enforcement.
I got your back.
Did they get a rude awakening?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Just like the black
Law
folks did.
enforcement. So when folks endorse, should they be held accountable for the candidates' actions after they get in there?
I would think so. I would say so. I would agree. You know, but see, the thing about it, Donnie, it's not like this is his first term.
Yeah, they knew what they were getting.
Yeah, they knew what they were getting, and anybody but a woman, a black woman, anyone who's connected with Biden, what's going to happen? You know, I think that was just a hard or false thinking that they were going to allow a black woman to become the first woman president of the United States.
Yeah, a lot of white women. They were pro-Trump. Go Trump.
Right. Mm-hmm. I tell you, man. But this firing of these or sending home of these diversity, equity, inclusion employees, that's major, man. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Kick them out, huh?
Kick them out, man. You know, being a former federal employee and seeing how he's moving, I would be.
He said he knew nothing about Project 2025.
This is
he
all,
distanced himself from that.
You know, Project 2025 is the Heritage Foundation have always had this for any incoming president in the Republican Party. This is just a continuation of their script, you know, worded differently, but the same dossier that they give all Republicans when they come into power.
Danny, do you think the Democrats learned a lesson?
I think they did.
Danny, I want you to think about it. I got to give you a backdrop. In the current race for the chair of the DNC, Democratic National Committee.
Yeah, Jamie Harrison.
You just said the Democrats learned a lesson. Why was it, I think, 6 white males and a Latino itching to be head of the DNC? Where was the diversity?
Well, you know,
I got time.
Oh, you have time? Well, I can say this when I say about learn from this experience. The DNC, and you know, of course, I'm still part of the Democratic Party as an elected official. You know, I have to be careful of what I say. So what I will say is that within anything, I think.
Welcome, Tiger. Danny's over here tap dancing.
Yeah, but he's telling some truths, though, man. You know, but it might go a little deeper than that.
You know,
hey, look, like I always tell folks, this is America, man.
And that's all you have to say.
Hey, this is America, boy.
And that's all we have to say.
And I look at how confident these people were with regards to Kamala Harris defeating Donald Trump, man. They had to be insane to even have any kind of a sense of victory beforehand. And all the stuff about the Divine Nine and all of that, you better have dealt with them Elks, them Masons, and them people at the grassroots level to get them fired up instead of focusing on all the stuff about women and reproductive rights and all that kind of stuff. You know, we got issues to deal with. They never spoke to us, everyday brother and sister. They spoke to either the elitist hierarchy or white folks.
That's right.
And that's why people, because look, man, I'm on the streets fighting these young brothers talking about, well, man, we had a better time under Trump than this and that and all. Come on, man, are you serious, man? Did you see what happened on January the 6th? Did you see these armed racists, man? They're ready to take things back to 1919, man. And they're armed to the teeth, okay? They're so armed that it has become necessary throughout this country for blacks to form black militias for the sole purpose of defending the community, because people are living in fear, and black folks today ain't gonna go back to them days when the white man could come in your house and do whatever he wanted to do. We're not going back to that.
This is the part I don't get, big brother. Didn't Russia say back during the Bay of Pigs, give us your African Americans?
Well, that kind of broke up. Repeat that one now.
Did the Russians say, give me your African Americans and we'll fight you head up?
I don't know. You know.
Well, what I'm getting to, can America afford a racially, based civil war? Wouldn't that leave us vulnerable?
Yeah, but see, it will never be totally racial based, even though that might be central to what is going on. They will couch it under, terms like anti-communism, American exceptionalism, and all that other stuff. They'll couch it within that. But the bottom line is it's still America as all. And I don't care whether you got Joe Biden in office or not, because Joe Biden wasn't too much damn better than Trump, to tell you the honest God truth. Now,
I tried to tell him.
Hey, I'm telling you.
I tried to tell him.
Look, let me run something to you. And then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, because we just didn't come out and beat him up. Look, we looked at some issues relative to blacks in defense of the nation. We looked at Dory Miller and we say, hey, man, Dory Miller should have gotten the Medal of Honor.
Hold up. Danny, do you know who Dory Miller was?
Dory Miller.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor, 1941. Remember the black sailor, right? Okay, now, he should have received the Congressional Medal of Honor. There are a couple others like Charles Lucky and all of that, because Lucky, what he did when his ship, I think it was the USS Gregory, was sunk, he went around with a raft and picked up about 15 white boys and saved them, got them in the raft. Then when the wind started and the current started drifting the raft toward the Japanese lines, he tied a rope around himself to jump in the water to swim away, to pull the raft away from the Japanese line. The lieutenant said, hey, no, don't get in that water. Them sharks out there. And my boy Lucky said, no, look, I'm more afraid of the Japanese than I am them sharks. Jumped into the water, and all them injured white boys on that raft, he swam out toward the American line. Now, he should have gotten the Congressional Medal of Honor too. So we didn't talk about him, but we did talk about Dory Miller, because Dory Miller's in all the movies. Okay, and everybody know about him. Now, here's what we told Biden. We first looked at the demographics of 1940. The demographics are these: 89.8% white, 9.8% black. That left 0.4% for everybody else to be categorized in that other category. Native Americans, Latinos, Eskimos, Pacific Islanders, and Asian. All of them came to 0.4%. That was the population in 1940. 1950, it has changed very little. It's 0.5% or 1%. Everybody else is other. But now understand, that's important for us to understand who was in this country prior to what time and who benefited from all the stuff that we fought for affirmative action. But let's get back to this. So we send Biden the justification, Secretary of Navy and everybody else, to justify why Dory Miller should get this Medal of Honor. Biden didn't even have the decency to respond to us, okay? And I can send y'all the full package, okay? Because Biden and I was up at the Delaware Memorial when we unveiled that monument to the African-American Congressional Medal of Honor recipients, right? But the bottom line is he didn't respond. So we sent him that data. Asians, now understand this, Asians got 27 Medal of Honors, World War II. African Americans only got 7. And we had to get those 7 after, repeated struggles with the department, right? Now, 7 Asians who ain't even 1/10 or 1% of the population gonna get 27?
Well, tell them about those black soldiers that got the French Cross.
All right, well, that ain't that important. Now, what's important right now is looking at those numbers and understanding who this system responds to. 27 medals for less than 1/10 of the population, and here we are, 9.8% of the population. It just don't make no sense. And when you look at all of the extraordinary services and the sacrifices of blacks during World War II, for instance, the 333rd artillery unit, one of the best, they put some inferior white boys with them in the infantry. The white boys ran, okay, when the Germans came, because we was fighting our way into Germany then, right? The white boys ran. About 11 or 12 of our guys get separated from their unit. They end up in this village called Whaaaaaat, W-A-R-E-T-H, right?
There's a movie about it.
There's three U.S. sympathizers there, but the other 9 all Nazi sympathizers. The 3 sympathizers hid the blacks out. But when the Germans came, the blacks soldiers, rather than have their hosts or the people who tried to protect them meet the villainous of the Germans, they went out into the field to be captured, okay, in order to protect those people who cared for them. The Germans then, while they were still alive, gouged out their eyes, cut off various body parts and stuff like that while they were still alive. Now, somebody's still going to have to pay for that. We ain't going to let it die. And they're called the Whaaaaaat 11, W-A-R-E-T-H 11. Check it out. The only people who seem to care about them are those Belgians up there, the white folks who supported us. They built the monument. I never knew what that monument was when I was over there, man.
Wow.
Well, we've got some stories to tell, and it's up to us to tell our own. But we sent that to Biden. They didn't even have the decency to respond. Okay. Now, that's why. Now, we didn't come out against them because, hey, we feared what the alternative was, which is what we got, right? So, the Democratic Party got a long ways to go to demonstrate that they're really who they say they are now, okay? And that's the bottom line. All them labor groups that are supported by Democrats, because, Democrats always support labor, they all went where? They went with Trump. Teamsters, all of them went with Trump, right?
Yeah.
Fraternal Order Police.
Law enforcement. What about law enforcement?
Look here.
It never happened before.
They all went with Trump.
That's right.
Law
You know,
enforcement, what did he say when, I mean, by him pardoning these, you know,
insurrectionists, insurrectionists.
he's giving them a pass.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
What does law enforcement think of that?
Oh, well, I mean, the Fraternal Order of Police are upset, outraged about it because it gives them a bad image of who they are as an organization that supported this man.
Listen, all black officers and decent white boys should resign from the Fraternal Order of Police. Now, if they don't do that, they can go to hell. Okay, they supposed to all resign and never send another penny to the Fraternal Order of Police. The Fraternal Order of Police should be dead in the water.
Absolutely.
Now, and you know, and look, there are a lot of blacks who Teamsters, because you know I grew up as a Teamster child.
Really?
Because I grew up under Dave Beck, Jimmy Hoffa, and all of them. That was the days when the Teamsters were about the family. You know, that Union Hall, that's a Spanish church out there now on Urban Avenue. Okay, when we were kids, you know, we would go out there to Awesome Bull Roast, which was free because the labor back then was about the family. And labor reached out to the family. And so I grew up as a Teamster.
Yeah.
You know whose phone that is?
No, that was my phone. I'm sorry. I'm union all the way through AFL-CIO. I was on the Mobiller for the American Postal Workers Union. I tell you, man, solidarity is the key to it all. If you're not, coming together, pulling together for issues that are important, that's the only way you're going to be able to be part of the decision making. You got to have a seat at the table. You got to have collective bargaining. You have to come together. I mean, as you said, I mean, we have all these organizations out here that should be like coming together and really showing these young folks that we mean business. And the young folks aren't seeing it.
The young people are not going to sing "We Shall Overcome."
Nah, not only that, man. Look, we've got some serious problems with any of our senior citizens as well, because look, we've got a problem, man, and labor is supposed to be right with us on this. Hey, man, look, Social Security is gonna go belly up, man, in 10 years. Okay, now it might not impact me that much because I'm 82 years old. Okay, now if I get into my 90s, then it's going to impact me, right? But the bottom line is we've got to protect Social Security. Now, something needs to be done now, okay? And there are a lot of proposals on the table. But Black people need to be discussing that because we depend on Social Security more than anybody else. Because all the white boys have 2 and 3 pensions in addition to the damn Social Security. Right. You know, but we depend on that Social Security. But who in the Black community is talking about that?
So, Tiger, let me pose this question to you.
Yeah.
We are 15% of the population.
Perhaps.
If that much.
Okay. No, Tiger's suggesting more. But say we're 20% of the population.
No, I'm saying, no, I think we might be less than 15%. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay, well, let's go with the standard 13%.
Okay, that'll be better.
We're overly represented in the prison system.
Yes, we are.
We are overly represented in negative socioeconomic factors.
Yes, we are.
Where are you on Black progress? Do you think we're moving backwards, we're at a standstill, or we're moving forward? And I say that because I hear it all the time. I hear people say the Black people need to stick together. And I'm saying, damn, we fighting on all angles, let alone mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, our financial health, our political power. We have done miraculous things given our numbers. What should we expect? How much more can we expect of us?
Well, let me give it to you like this. First of all, we've lost our way. Okay, we lost our way, and until we, regroup and figure out who we are, because we no longer know who the hell we are. Okay, we are African people in America, and that's always meant one particular thing, that we needed to stay together. There are too many of our people, once integration comes, that means the death of Black institutions. Okay, because most of our people are going to gravitate to the white economics and everything else. Okay, we didn't go backwards until, people began to get comfortable with integration. And that was nothing but a smokescreen to protect the image of America. That's all it was. We're still Black people in America, and we still need to pull together economically and politically. Because remember now, we understood that in 1966, when the Congress of Racial Equality adopted the philosophy of Black Power, which was about uniting, our politics and our economic power to lift our people up. We started talking about Black credit unions, those kinds of infrastructure needs to develop the Black economy. If we don't do that, we're nowhere. We somehow view ourselves through the prism of white folks' eyes, and that is the problem. I don't care who you are.
I gotta push back like this. Listen, we had 3 Black Wall Streets officially. Mm-hmm. We also had Black Wall Streets in every community where there were Black people. Black Bottom in Detroit, Bronzeville in Chicago, Weeksville in Brooklyn, Seneca Village in Manhattan. But every time there was Black progress, even with the Black soldiers, they get honored by France with the French Cross, only to come home and get lynched.
Yeah.
Who is looking at the trauma, the terrorism? They call Osama bin Laden a terrorist. Who's talking about the KKK? And I don't mean the ones with the hoods on, the ones without the hoods. How much progress can we make being outnumbered? Half of us, we once we move beyond the Beltway, once we move out Liberty Road, there's no need to go to PTA meetings or county council meetings. How much progress can we make? They lynch us, they kill us, they lock us up. Mike Brown, Eric Spencer, George Floyd. We've been traumatized, man.
And we killing each other. And
on top of that, don't make it like we enjoy killing each other. We think we do. We caught up in the music, but this is the music that's allowed to fester, to prosper. See, Dolores Tucker told us, stop calling your women the B word. Now women call themselves the B word. You look on social media and our women are butt naked. It is nothing to see.
I said we lost our way. I can't say it no better than that. We lost our way. We do not know who we are anymore.
We don't respect ourselves and our culture and our history, and that's a shame. The community that we live in throughout the state of Maryland, throughout this country, we're not formalizing as a race. We're just not doing that. Back in the day, we would always come together, whether it was in the basement of the church or whatever. At least we had some kind of unified body where we understood the assignment. We are all out here on our own, doing our own thing. Nobody's coming together. Everybody's in the divine nine. They doing this, they doing that. They up here, they up there. We need to come together as a culture and really sit down and fix this. If we don't fix it, the young people are going to be looking at us like a joke. It's like, what you guys doing? What are you talking about? Martin Luther King, that was back then. What are you guys doing now?
We're not a joke. We are traumatized.
You gotta get past that traumatized, Donnie.
Bruh. We have post-traumatic stress disorder as a community. And let me tell you who else has it. White people have it. White people have it too. Let me tell you something. I live in Sandtown. You know who's going to the dope line?
White folks.
White people lined up, buying fentanyl. I see it there go two right there.
But look,
white people are traumatized. They got their own healing to go through.
We've gotten away from the basics. The reason, we're
not alone.
Look, I could talk that point, okay, but I'm gonna leave that one be for the moment, and just state this. Look, when I grew up,
Pat Robinson is traumatized.
It has changed a little bit. And listen, we were fortified against racism because our families taught us this, and this was part of our culture. Boy, you got to be twice as good as the white man to make it. Now, inherent in that is a belief that we're superior to white people if we got to be twice as good, right? Now, that was what was embedded in our mind. Many people didn't understand that because they never gave them a show. Yeah, you got to be twice as good as the white man. Okay. Now, boy, anytime you out there competing with them, you got to be better than them. You can't come. Look, man, all my life, that's all I was taught. That was embedded in us. I grew up, I was almost 35 years old before I really understood that white people were just as good as black people, because I saw little white boys and department stores running around like they crazy and shit. My mother had me by her hip. I didn't move because it was all about discipline and who we are as a people, okay? We have adopted too many of their ways. You got to be twice.
But don't you understand why?
Why?
The biggest thing that is getting our young people today, I'm going to tell you, media. You got Tarzan swinging through the jungle. So there's a negative image about Africa, but long before we even meet an African, we think they swing through the vines. And Lord knows what they play in African countries to tell them about Black Americans. I mean, if the rest of the world only knows us from a hip hop video where we're degrading our women degrading themselves, female rappers setting a bad example for little girls. If we live in a country, all up with the news, every day on the news, all they show is black people breaking law. Danny, what's going on, man? You break dancing.
Yeah, well, so where's I can't see myself. Can you see me? I don't know what's going on.
We can see you.
I can see you, but your lips ain't moving.
I can't see y'all at all. I mean, I can't see myself.
Talking. Just leave your picture there and leave the screen.
So, Donnie is absolutely 100% correct. It is media. It's social media. It's all these platforms out here that was designed specifically to brainwash our children or people in general, white or black. They want them all, but they don't care. When it gets right down to it, they want to poison everybody's mind except for the 1%ers, 2%ers. That's it. But the black
politicians taking selfies, our preachers taking selfies.
I mean, naked young girls naked. They showing them what to do. Everybody wants to be the biggest bee out there. These social, these reality shows. It is, Donnie's right. It's absolutely all against these young people. They have a hard time staying focused on what's reality.
Hey, Tiger, the
Yes,
prostitutes don't know what to buy to wear.
Look,
They don't know what to
again,
buy to wear because they said regular women then bought all the hooker gear.
Yeah. Look, our little girls are dressed
You
up
ain't-
like hookers going to school in the morning.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We lost our way.
That's true.
When did we lose it? Was it integration? Was it when we were able to move out the Liberty Road that we figured we made it? We got bunny rails.
It's a combination. It's a combination of it all.
Once we integrate and we place our children in the institutions, white folks' institution, that's when you go wrong. We lost we gave up our children to our enemy with the integration. And that was the beginning of our downfall.
Okay. Tiger, I got to hit you with this.
Yeah.
You love education as much as anybody I know.
Oh, you bet your bottom dollar.
you have educated me, including teaching me about James Fortin.
Yeah.
Richest black man in Philadelphia before the Civil War, patriot. Tiger, with all of these educated black people, why isn't it mandatory that the Maryland public school system doesn't teach Black history? Why isn't it mandatory that every student in Maryland know about Matthew Henson, about Booker, Benjamin Banneker, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman,
Woodson?
Talk about them scientists now, George Washington Carver and all those other scientists.
No. I'm talking about Marylanders.
All right, okay, Marylanders, all right. Okay.
Black Marylanders of national and international significance.
We got the Reginald Lewis Museum of Maryland African American History. We got a African American.
Why isn't it in the curriculum?
Well, look. Let me say this, okay? We keep looking for somebody else to do what we're supposed to do.
Oh, we got a black governor.
It don't matter who the governor is. He's the governor of Maryland.
Stop telling me vote for him.
Now look. Listen to what I'm telling you now. Look, it is our responsibility to tell our story and maintain our history. Okay? It is not the Maryland public school system. We keep looking to somebody else to do what we're supposed to be doing. The Jewish people don't look for nobody else to teach their history. Nobody else looks to that but us. It's almost as if we're seeking validation from our enemies. No, we got the responsibility to teach our history, and this is what I do, okay? But now, because look, and I could tell you a whole lot of stories about rejection from the mainstream of Black society when we talk about our history, okay? Now, but the bottom line, once again, is we done lost our way. And we don't have too many people around now who know what the way once was. If you're 75 or above, you should have good memories on some of the things that transpired. When I came out of school in 1960, okay, I was president of my class. I had to give the graduation address. And the title of it was Youth of Today, Leaders of Tomorrow. Now, what did I mean by that? People are dying over in Sharpsville in South Africa, Greensboro in March of 1960. All this before we understood what our mission was. Youth of the day, leaders of tomorrow. Now, and we did it. We went out on the front line no matter wherever we went. If we went into the military, we fought racism and bigotry there. And that is where everything began to change for American society, right there in the military. And then it transferred to civilian society. People don't even understand that. Okay.
Tell them again.
So
tell them again. Tell them again.
All right, they don't understand it.
Tell them one more time.
Every movement we made, we like to glorify Martin Luther King, and I love Martin Luther King, my homeboy, to death. You understand? But the reason we have overcome in America has been blacks in the military. Okay?
Because that's where.
Let me give you an example. Since we're at the 80th anniversary of the ending of World War II, the powers that be understood that there had to be changes in civilian society. In Australia, Townsville, the black soldiers there got sick and tired of that BS, racism, and they armed themselves and they shot up the officers' quarter. That's called a Townsville mutiny. Look it up. Townsville mutiny, Australia. They had to get the Australian military and police to put down that black rebellion. White folks came to understand, hey, things have changed. Tuskegee Airmen up in Indiana, they resisted up there. We look out at Fort Lawton, where blacks were accused of killing an Italian POW up at Fort Lawton in Washington State. Blacks rebelled. Port Chicago out in Oakland, they made a movie on it. The brothers rebelled, all of us in the military, throughout the military. And so they knew when black soldiers came home from World War II with that double V crap, which meant what? Victory over Hitlerism abroad and victory over racism back here at home. They knew they had to deal with those returning black soldiers. That's why change came about. Okay. Now I can tell you that whole story, but our people still looking for that Messiah thing, right? And see, they don't think that.
Do you think that, or do you think we've gotten so comfortable that we think that too many of us think we can actually fit into America?
No, the bottom line, Donnie, is that we play stupid. And we're not a stupid people. But we like to play stupid because we're always seeking validation of the man who keeps his foot on our back. Okay? And that's part of our problem right there. We need to understand who we are. We are the greatest people on the face of this earth, man. I'm telling you. And until we come to understand, it's almost, we're
it's
so
hard
great.
to believe
We're
that,
so
Tiger, when
that
Fox
we're
News.
to be God's chosen people. You understand?
I got you, Tiger. But Fox News, Mackenzie Frost, and all of them people tear down black people around the clock.
That's their job.
Yeah.
That is their job. They're doing their
That's
job.
why we got this network, because we want to lift
our job.
Hold up, Tiger. That's why we have this black media outlet.
Right. That's right.
To lift our people up.
Look. They're doing their job. We
got to do our job. Right. More of it.
We need to do our job. And that's where we fall down at. We're not doing our job. We keep looking to them to make some changes or what have you, but we are not doing our job. Okay, I got to, Rodney, I'm going to get right back to you after I finish this podcast about 10. All right. Now, we're not doing our job. And that's where the problem is, because we keep relying on somebody else to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. That is our problem. In America, if we don't do it for ourselves, it ain't going to get done.
That's right.
Well, we did it for ourselves. When we did it for ourselves, they burned it to the ground.
But they're not doing that.
Rebuild it.
Do it again. Do it again. You never stop. That's right.
We rebuild it and arm our people to defend what we have built.
That's right. Those things that they did back then, those things that happened, those things that happened back then, Donnie, they can't do that now. They cannot burn down.
Listen, man, an educated black person wants to live anywhere but Baltimore City.
I don't see anything wrong with Baltimore City.
You got people in Baltimore County who will never come to North Avenue.
No.
I got them in my own family.
And they talk about.
But that's always going to be the case, Johnny. I mean, those are the ones that
struggle out Liberty Road is no different.
It is no different. A struggle is a struggle. It's a mindset. If you're going to always
road are comfortable.
Well, but see, that's why we do what we do.
You got bunny rabbits, deer, and foxes.
Oh, but you still have the same problems everywhere, Donnie. It doesn't matter where you're in the county or the city. I don't look at it that way at all.
Because you're a wise man.
We are all in this together. I don't understand why people don't understand that. City, county, it doesn't matter. We are all one. And we're supposed to look out for one another.
We don't know until the police
it's
one
crazy.
of our young people.
We're no different. It's crazy to think that you're better just because, you this, that, and the other. You're not
some
better.
of us think we better.
That's right.
And some of them are Democrats.
And they drink
get
the
in
Kool-Aid.
office. Hey, go, buddy, go.
That's right. That's right. Or you're part of us. You're one of us now, guy. Come on.
Look. Let's get back to what we were taught. We have no permanent friends or permanent
enemies. Only permanent enemies.
We have issues that we have to deal with.
That's
no
right.
Permanent friends, no permanent enemies. Okay. See, these are the teachings that I'm talking about. We've gotten away from being who we are. We lost our way.
So let's reintroduce the woodshed. Let's take some people out back to the woodshed. And I want to start with that preacher who did the inauguration prayer. Invoking the name of...
No. See, there we go. We're looking, once again, let's stop criticizing the brothers who over there with Trump and start looking inward at ourselves.
I ain't criticizing the brothers. I'm criticizing the buffoon and the minstrel show.
Well, if story be truth be told, we ain't got nothing but minstrel shows all the way around.
That's true too.
All you have to do is look at Kamala Harris and her campaign. That was the biggest minstrel show on earth.
Well, she did bring Dougie Fresh to the White House trying to get some points.
And I'm not going to get into any other criticism of our people and our leadership. But when you have younger leadership that did not go through the segregated era.
They know how to get us, Tiger. Give them some chicken, some watermelon.
Let me tell you what to do. What's his name? Give him let me make this clear once and for all. My generation was nurtured by former slaves.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a child in Georgia on that plantation, the people who were too old to go to the cotton fields were my great-grandparents.
Sure.
They had all been born slaves. They nurtured us and they taught us. We had a sense of self-determination, knowing that if we go make it, we got to do it on our own, and that we were better than those people. Okay? Now, that's who nurtured us. Now, having said that, we're the last of those people who had a direct relationship to slaves. Now, I've got one of my daddy's first cousins.
But that is still in the DNA.
No. Remember, the slaves were the ones who put it in our heads of who we are. Okay?
Okay.
And look, my grandma Flora, that's my great-grandmother on my daddy's side. All of her children, none of them were sharecroppers. They either leased their land or they bought their land. But none of them were sharecroppers, okay? Because Grandma Flora, who came out of slavery, understood all of that, okay? And when we used to sit back, she'd sit back up under that tree or in that wagon or in that shade, and she wasn't going to move. She'd say, boy, bring me that switch. And that was your ass, because you was going to listen to Grandma. Now, we have a different perception of our elders.
Oh, time out. Don't hit Johnny. Johnny, go in the corner. Johnny, go in the corner. Time out.
Yep. And you go to jail if you put your hands on them.
Look, wait.
My mom beat me. 911. My mom beat me.
That's right.
Yeah.
You try that shit on Lily Glover.
Yes, sir.
You have your stuff at the front door and tell the police take them with you.
The first thing, the thing that enabled us to survive that Jim Crow was discipline. Was discipline, because if we had not been disciplined, we would not have survived. I mean, I come out of a society like this, and I'll give you this one little story, because I almost lost my life. Down at the crossroads, this is in old rural Plantation, Georgia, right? You know, I'm down there for the summer. So and of course my family had briefed me on, boy, don't let your eyes meet no white folks' eyes, say yes, sir, no, sir, and all that stuff. The kind of briefing that Emmett Till got, right? So when I go down there, me and my uncle, he's 2 years older than me, we go down to the crossroads. I asked old man Tom Beard, because it was Beard's store, I want a Coca-Cola. He said, we ain't got no Cokes. The whole damn store full of Cokes. And so I said, well, I don't care if it's not cold. I just want a Coca-Cola. I had no idea that in that part of Georgia, black folks could not buy Coca-Cola. You had to buy RC, Royal Crown Cola, right? So my uncle saved my life. He told, let me finish this real quick now. My uncle told that cracker that I had been kicked in the head by a mule that morning and been talking crazy ever since. Now, that's how bad it was, Georgia. Now, I lived it. I know it. And there ain't a dime's worth of difference between them crackers in the blue uniforms up here and them white boys down there with the hoods on.
But how about the blacks that sell out, that know it but still sell out? That's our problem.
Snoop Dogg and Nelly went over there and performed.
I don't know whether I would call them sell out straight out like that. Because what I like to do is examine myself and my family. What are we doing? You know, instead of being critical of everybody else, what am I doing? And I know that.
Would you have performed for Trump?
Huh?
Would you have performed for Trump?
Look, what's the difference in performing for Trump and performing for Biden? Now, that's the bottom line. Okay? Or performing for.
It's a difference.
Performing for Bill Clinton. What's the difference?
No. I got to side with Tiger on that one.
It is a difference.
I did not like when Kamala had this hip hop show.
I didn't like that either.
Hold up.
There's a difference between
hold up. She invited all of these black reporters to her house for a hip hop show. I want to hear you talking about business, about economic development, about community development. I don't want to see you dancing.
I agree with that.
I don't need you to introduce me to hip hop.
I agree with that 100%. We ain't got time for that.
Yeah, look. That they play into that white image of who we are. I know who we are. We are a revolutionary people that have struggled in America, who continue to struggle. And we looking at a lot of our brothers who have lost their way, but we have to do more to educate our people and pass down our history.
But you know what, Mr. Davis and Donnie, that image that Kamala put out there by doing all that she did, that's not her reality. That's not her world. That's not how she lives.
People saw her.
That's the worst part of it all. That's the worst part of it all.
They see Kamala talking this black thing, but then she show up with the white guy.
Yes. It's not her reality, and it's kind
of hard to sell that.
It was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, look, everything
showed up with Peter.
We're nothing but showing off for white folks, okay? Now, let me tell you something. You ought to see the face of white folks when I apologize to them. Because like I said, I was 35 years old before I understood that white people were just as good as black people, right? And I apologize to the white community because all of you all are not dumbass racists like I always thought you were. You don't see the look on their face when I apologize to them for that, okay? Because that's who they were. They were always inferior to us. And every time we competed with them, I don't care whether it's a first game of integration in football, Poly 4 touchdown favorites over us at Dunbar. We kicked the shit out their ass back in 1958 when we integrated the leagues, right? I don't care whether you're talking about Morgan's lacrosse team. Everybody wanted to play us.
Right.
Now check it out, ESPN.
Oh yeah.
10 Bears. Hey, look, we beat the shit out of the #1 team in the country. The score might have only been 9-8, but the psychological whooping we put on their ass was something terrible.
You know, that made me go play lacrosse when I got in high school. I wanted to play lacrosse and use that stick. I sure did.
Yeah, well, look, check out the ESPN, and you'll see the difference between me and the white boy coach. Because, look, I say, Chip, look, man, this is about a little bit more than that damn. Man, this ain't nothing but a game, man. This is sports. This is not Chip. It's about something much more than that. He's a good friend of mine, right? But the Jew boy didn't understand what it was I was trying to convey to him. This lacrosse team is about more than just a game. You understand? You know, this is about our struggle, who we are, and how we relate to the system. And we cannot go out here and think we are going to get the same privileges all the other white. But man, you should have seen some of them calls they made on us.
But you know what? But that's every sport that we're part of. That's what we do. That's what we're fighting for. It's not just, you know, to go up there and to slam a basketball, but it's just the principle of who we are as a people and how we are as, you know, we are a group of people who are gifted, you know, who are talented, who are you know, just superior, and all we need is an opportunity. So that's what that's all
you ain't
about.
gonna have no white quarterbers no more.
Look at all. That's what
everything they're allowed to do, we will be better than them. But not only that, in science as well. Let me give you a little example. A young man named Jim Norfleet, he just died last year, right? Jim Norfleet, he was like about almost 3 years older than me. Jim Norfleet was encouraged by Reginald Francis Lewis' uncle to go into pharmacy. He went to University of Maryland in 1959, but the 58 to 59, but the racism and the cost was so over the board, he had to drop out. He then goes into the Army, comes out, then finishes school at Morgan. In 1967, he's hired by Colgate-Palmolive Oral Division. When he retired in 2004, he was in charge of all the scientists worldwide for Colgate-Palmolive Oral Division. His name is Jim Norfleet. You will know him from his first 2 major patents, Ultra Bright toothpaste and Peroxyl. That's one of our little boys out of Dunbar. Now, when he left, he was putting together this total care thing. That's Jim Norfleet. Now, we've got brothers and sisters who are achieving in STEM. Like when I tell folks, I say, look, man, we brought STEM to America. I don't care if we talk about Benjamin Banneker, George Washington Carver, whomever. We've always been there. They got our people, young people, think they can't do math. Math was the one thing all of us could do when I came through, because we were black people. And when I tell my students, I would say, look, one day, if you study hard enough and you work hard, y'all gonna become black people. And then they say, Professor Davis, what do you need? I say, right now, you ain't nothing but a figment of somebody's imagination or notion of progress. That's all you are. You know, but you're not black people. Don't even come to me trying to act like you are. Okay, we don't have black people anymore, and that is where our problem is at. Because if you black, you will know your damn history. Okay,
and your assignment.
You have respect for it. So we don't have black people anymore. We have homogenized people. Okay, and that's the problem. And we tend to glorify those homogenized people because they went to Harvard or they went to Yale or some other white institution. But Jim Norfleet went to Morgan, and all he ever got was a bachelor's degree, okay? But he was such a goddamn genius that he ended up going around the world several times in charge of development and all the scientists for Colgate-Palmolive Oral Division. And the little stupid ass people that are Dunbar don't even know who they are. They know nothing about their history. Okay. They think of basketball and football, but hey man, we got a glorious history at Dunbar High School.
Amen.
You know.
That'll be the final word.
Look, the lady who broke open the nursing school thing for black people, Esther McCready, the first black nurse, or the first black female to graduate from University of Maryland Medical School, Lois Young. One of the greatest doctors who delivered more babies than anybody else. What's his name? Dr. Randall, over at Garwin Medical Center. Okay, Dunbar High School. Those statues of Frederick Douglass at Morgan, the black soldier downtown in front of City Hall, that's James Lewis, professor of history, of art at Morgan. Dunbar High School, also one of the first black Marines. We don't know, this is Dunbar High School. Man, they don't know nothing about who we are. They keep painting us a picture of us and that the white boy, the image that the white boy want us to have. Man, we had geniuses, two of the greatest educators.
We have to have our own network, man. What Doni does, we need more of this. And that's the problem. When you own airwaves, you own the what you want to put out there, and it's just that simple. You got to own stuff.
That's right,
gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today.
Right.
You've certainly been a cup of coffee. Good morning, world.
Glad I could get on.
Appreciate you.